Do you like timeless classics?
Yes.
Are you looking for curated designer vintage?
I am actually.
You are? You guys are in the market?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I have some breaking news for you.
Spill.
Look no further than Funny Girl Vintage, your go-to destination for curated, one-of-a-kind vintage pieces that'll have you looking and feeling amazing. And they have a showroom in Culver City. You can book your one-on-one style consultation at funnygirlvintage.com or on their Instagram at funnygirlvintage. And guess what, ladies?
What?
For our podcast listeners, you can get 10% off using the code NIGHT.
How do you spell that?
NIGHT for 10% off. And we thank Funny Girl Vintage for sponsoring this episode. Welcome back to Night School. I'm Jessie Zand.
I'm Izzy Hunter.
And today we have a very special guest returning by an incredible popular demand, Miss Grace McGrade.
Woo! Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
And as you recall, Grace is from the app Stars Align. She's the head astrologist at Stars Align. You can download Stars Align on the Apple App Store or Google Play. You can use this little QR code right here to download it. And get, honestly, I've been using it really. I actually read it every day. Yeah. And I will say, I love how the readings, my favorite part of it is the do's and don'ts section of it. I feel like that is so helpful and such a helpful reframe, because sometimes you can get, your daily transits and whatever, like they can be up to interpretation a little bit. You can take with what's resonating at the moment. But I feel like the do's and don'ts are such clear direction for somebody like me who really needs clear, a Virgo who needs like clear instructions to feel safe. It's amazing. So I highly recommend it. Download it right here. The QR code is right here. So we're super excited to have you. So we wanted to kick it off today and chat through some of the major transits. It sounds like Uranus is in Gemini.
Is about to be in Gemini.
By
the time this podcast is out, it will be in Gemini, yeah.
And it's on July 7th, right? Okay, amazing. So talk us through what
who's
we can
Uranus
expect.
for the novices?
Uranus is like the rebellious tech bro, like chaos mischief king. Uranus is the planet of awakening. It comes after Saturn, and Saturn is kind of like our matrix and our systems and time and things that take time. And Uranus is the planet of rebellion and sudden things and technology. And it's almost like a higher octave of Mercury, the planet of communication. It's this higher level of intelligence. So when Uranus switches signs, it usually has a tendency to rapidly accelerate whatever area it is in, but also bring a lot of chaos, change, uncertainty, acceleration. Like we've just had, Uranus and Taurus for the past 7 years. So a lot of that has been about like bodily autonomy and, changes around monetary, exchanges. We've had cryptocurrency.
Right. The acceleration of that too within the last 7 years has been quite fast.
Yeah, absolutely. So when Uranus was in Taurus, it almost felt like, and Taurus represents the body and what we value and what we hold importance, what matters, what do we desire, but it's also, we've had trans rights issues, we've had stuff with COVID, getting vaccinated, getting not vaccinated. So this is kind of like changing the conversation more towards like intellectual pursuits, freedom of information, duals, Gemini's a dual sign. Like we obviously are seeing a lot of extremes in terms of like left and right.
Yeah, polarization.
Yeah, so it's a big shift. I think it's going to be quite chaotic, but and also I know we talked about this on the last episode, but the Civil War that was during a Uranus and Gemini transit as well.
Interesting.
Everything's pointing to Civil War vibes.
Yeah,
especially in our country.
Yeah, and even as today,
or world wars.
Yeah, and even as today, typically we don't like to date the podcast, but this was recorded the night after the U.S. entered war with Iran. So definitely feels timely in this context of upheaval and acceleration. That definitely makes a lot of sense. I think we were also talking about it too earlier, like the historical context of the last time, of when Uranus was in Gemini. You said it was 7 years ago, or what was going on the
Every
last
7
time?
years it changes signs.
Okay.
So there's 12 signs, so it's like 80 something. I'm not exactly sure. But Uranus was in Gemini when the printing press was invented. So obviously that like changed
Yeah, completely.
information, like who receives certain information, the access of information.
Like the news too.
Yeah. So it really ignites, and it is the planet of revolution. So it ignites a revolution around how we share and exchange information. And it also kind of points to times where information that was previously repressed, like for example, like at one point, the only person who had access to the Bible was the priest. So you had to go to a church and they would sort of like translate it for you and interpret it themselves. And then when Uranus was in Gemini, that was when the Bible became accessible to the masses.
Wow.
Yeah, that was in 1523. The Bible, once guarded by priests, became available directly to parishes. For the first time, individuals could engage with sacred texts without an intermediary. This shift catalyzed the Protestant Reformation and marked a turning point in spiritual autonomy. I feel like there's going to be freedom of information.
Yeah.
But also like maybe cyber attacks.
Totally.
Sounds like that could happen too.
Yeah. Like there was recently like something where like there was, I think, like a national security breach over Telegram. Like there was like discussion of war on Telegram.
Yeah, we talked about it the Houthis strikes. Yeah, we talked about it, how that chat got
Texting
leaked.
war plans.
Yeah, and then sending emojis when they've like the rockets hit the village.
The bomb emojis.
Yeah, and like
I think there was also like
that is insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's beyond. I mean, it's we've come to the point where it's beyond parody. It's like beyond satire. It's like
SNL could never dream up this fever dream of an administration.
Yeah, or what's going on in the world. But it's interesting to think about it too within this historical context. Like you're talking about, Uranus and Gemini. This acceleration of information and the spread of it. The unpredictability, like, and the rapid downloads, like the rapid.
Yeah, I think they're on a psychic level. Like Uranus breaks us free. It breaks us free from our notions of what is true, our structures, our systems. It breaks us free, usually through catalysm, not always in the best way, but in the most comfortable way, through shocking information. And I also feel like it's going to become a time where people who once believed one thing find themselves switching to the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
There's like a polarization that comes with that. Like even, I don't want to get too political, but people who maybe voted for a certain person are finding out that maybe that was not a good idea. And
I see that a lot.
Vice versa. Like kind of like a switching.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, switching of sides, an awakening.
Absolutely.
An awakening.
Absolutely.
Hi, live from the edit bay. I just wanted to put this in that we recorded this on June 22nd, and Grace is talking about rapid political switches from one side to the other, these rapid downloads of information. And just want to point out that within the last week, the MAGA movement has been very upset with Donald Trump for not releasing the Epstein files. So further proof of what Miss Grace McGrade is saying here.
Personal level, like I think it's going to speed things up. There's probably going to be major technological advancements insofar as like travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does this, I think we were talking about too, like when we think about it on the little bit more of like the micro level, like for each of the signs, like maybe specifically starting with Gemini, like how will this affect the signs in Gemini, like who have their sun or rising there?
I mean, this is like becoming really autonomous, rebellious, free, edgy. It's an edgelord planet. It's the planet of doing things to shock and get a reaction. It's definitely going to allow Geminis to be more autonomous, less codependent. It could also feel kind of electric, like it's a period of time where sudden, shocking events seem to happen, a lot of strange synchronicities, genius insights, genius ideas. And then if you look at like Sagittarius, Gemini's your opposite sign, so you're going to find yourself attracted to people who embody that archetype, or having instances where you run into the right person at the right time. So for every sign, it's occurring in a different place in your chart. I always say, when I say like Geminis, like I really mean Gemini risings. When I say Sag, I really mean Sag risings. Right. If you're looking for the area that it's going to impact you. But we can go through all 12 if you want.
I'd be curious. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Aries, like, there's already a lot going on for Aries. It's like crazy time.
A lot of change.
But yeah, for you, it's kind of about like the rapid fire exchange of ideas and owning your voice and not shying away from speaking the truth, because it's happening in your house of communication and learning. It could be a good time where you learn a new skill or you experiment with, new forms of intelligence. For Taurus, it's kind of a relief because Taurus don't necessarily like change.
Mm-hmm.
Like the archetype of Taurus is quite stable and stubborn, and basically like Taurus has just had Uranus, this really disruptive energy, and it's signed for 7 years. So now it's entering their sector of self-esteem and finances, which is going to kind of encourage them to create a more autonomous earning schedule. Like you might be somebody who used to work a 9 to 5 and suddenly you're working in tech, right? Like you're earning money from technology, or you're earning money in a way that means that you can earn more sporadically and less predictably. It's also a time to reprogram your self-worth, and rather than there being like a series of unforeseeable crazy changes occurring in your life, you're now more grounded, which is great.
Yeah.
For Gemini, we kind of already went over that. Cancer, it's more, with Cancer, it's more happening in your psychic space. Like it's more about a reprogramming of old beliefs, But I'm not going to lie, like for Cancer risings, it could be a time where your sleep is disrupted.
Interesting.
And you're getting very clear messages from the great beyond. Yeah.
That's
Let
fascinating.
my mom know she's a Cancer.
Yeah.
Cancer rising?
No, just Cancer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then
Might
for
be Cancer
Leos, a
rising.
lot of it is about your networks and your friendships and aligning with people who share a similar mission to you.
That makes sense.
And maybe organizing, mutual aid, that kind of thing.
I love that. And then how are we feeling about Virgos?
For Virgos, let me see what I wrote down. Oh, sorry. Give me one second. Yeah, I mean, it's like so much change. So much change. Oh, yeah, this is what I thought, yeah. Well, congratulations. Well, for Virgo and Virgo risings, Uranus is reprogramming your professional sphere. This is
thank
honestly
God.
a really good time for podcasts.
Oh, thank God.
Right?
Great.
Like, 'cause it's
I'm a
like-
Virgo rising. She's a Virgo.
Yeah, if you can
great.
think about Uranus as like the algorithm on TikTok that makes people suddenly really pop off out of nowhere, that's kind of what it's like.
Interesting. Wait, go into that more. Explain that. How?
Well, if you think about like your Gemini being media, Gemini isn't just like you and me talking. It's media, it's culture, it's gossip magazines. Uranus is an algorithm. It's sporadic. It's something that it's intelligence. It's random. But there's an intelligence behind the randomness. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you're like a Virgo rising, this is like really encouraging you to take risks in your professional life. And it's also bringing a lot of attention to your professional life, where like the more you can speak your truth, the better that works out for you.
That's crazy. Yeah.
The more that you can rebel out of past patterns, the better. You may find that your responsibilities accelerate rapidly, and a disdain for authority and rigid structures at work inspire you to become more autonomous and free in your professional life.
That's why.
So this would be a time where like you switch careers or you experiment. It becomes a period of experimentation or learning in your life, like where you take a new direction. You're doing something that you previously hadn't planned. I feel like this applies to both of you.
It does.
It does.
I feel like I've been kind of preemptively doing that for a year or so.
Well, I mean, exactly. Like when these transits hit, like sometimes we've already been energetically
in that direction. Yeah. I think about that. Like in my day job, I'm taking a real left turn outside of my typical roles lately, and it is more creative. It is more it's me leading in a lot of ways that I've never done before, but because of what I've been doing with this podcast, I have done it, right? Like I haven't done it in my day job and my day-to-day, but I'm doing it outside of the confines of work and have built experience and stuff. And so it's a major shift outside of what my day-to-day typically looks like, and it's been super exciting because it's creative. It's outside of the comfort zone in the sense that I've typically relied on my team to help like guide me and give me confidence to do these things and tell me that it's okay. And I'm kind of now just doing it and asking for permission later.
Exactly.
Which is crazy.
There's been like new opportunities for me that,
Yes.
especially in like the last couple months, like doing that play was because I went to the Stars Align party. That wouldn't have happened without it, but that kind of came out of nowhere. I keep finding these like, I keep house sitting and like getting these gigs house sitting that I, pay, and it's like keeps popping up.
Here's what's crazy. Like Gemini, like people like have all these terrible misconceptions about Geminis, and I love Geminis, and it always reminds me of like a perpetual adolescence, like where we're trying out new things and we're not necessarily like committing to all of them. But like what I'm hearing you both kind of say is there's this kind of adolescent or teenage rebellion or period of trial and error,
experimentation.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like it's teenage adolescence experimentation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's very much like something that's being encouraged for everyone, but for both of you it's professionally.
Yeah.
It's professionally.
Yeah. And then I think about it too with stand up. Like the other night I did Set of the Night at the Comedy Store, which is like the open mic, and like that's typically a very nerve-wracking experience, and I literally went in, threw my name in the bucket. I got pulled within 10 minutes, had to get on stage, had not prepared, just got up and did it, and it ended up going really well. And I was like, oh shit, I guess I can just experiment right now.
Yeah, and if you're like a Libra or a Libra rising, like this experimentation is more spiritual, and it's kind of encouraging you to figure out what your personal narrative is, and explore different spiritual philosophies, and study and that kind of thing. And for Scorpio, this is really encouraging Scorpio and Scorpio risings to examine their thought forms when it comes to sex and intimacy and attachment, and switch it up a little bit and not get so attached, not perpetuate narratives, really learn how to let go of things that they've buried. Sagittarius, we talked about that. Partnerships. Capricorn, this is like a time for you to restructure your routine, experiment with new health, practices, embody more fun, for potentially not be so rigid in your daily structures. Maybe develop a new work/home balance that incorporates more wellness. And Aquarius, very exciting, all happening for you in your period of love, self-expression, play. There's a lot of heaviness going on for Aquariuses across the board, and this is going to kind of bring back some of that fun. And for Pisces and Pisces rising, this is about challenging you to rebuild your definition of home, moving out, healing narratives that were perpetuated in early childhood, or redefining your identity in some way.
Facts.
Yeah.
I feel that very much.
Yeah. And I do think that this is it's gonna have something to do with AI as well. There is something.
Yeah, we were talking about when we were talking about that in the pre-call, it was more about Pluto and Aquarius having to do with the acceleration
I
of
think both, because Uranus, both of them. Pluto is bringing up the fear. It's adding, it's the tech oligarchs. It's putting power there. But Uranus is like, that's where we see, like, Uranus was discovered during the Industrial Revolution. Like, that's when they discovered the planet. So it is about new inventions. So I do think that when Aquarius is the most evolved of the air signs, but Gemini is kind of like things that apply to our daily lives. It's closer to home.
Interesting. Okay. So why don't we dive into the Pluto and Aquarius? I know that was something we wanted to talk about. What are we looking at here? Because I know we kind of mentioned it on the last episode.
I mean, Pluto is a generational planet, so it kind of is a marker of the crises or collective movements that change a generation. So when 9/11 happened, we had Pluto in Sagittarius. So that was, what did we have? We had like fear of travel, fear of foreigners, like xenophobia. There was Pluto and Scorpio, like our generation. A lot of that has we've seen like pornography. There's a lot of stuff with addiction, obsession, sex, feeling afraid of our, government, conspiracies. So with Pluto and Aquarius, the fear becomes, there's a fear of technology and what it's capable of. But Pluto also adds power wherever it goes, but it's an alchemical process. So usually that power eventually has to be surrendered. So we saw that with Pluto and Capricorn. Like Pluto and Capricorn was very much like the 2008 economic crash, where the past, 10 years or so have basically been about seeing people who we pedestalize, like Britney Spears or politicians or like these people who are in positions of power get canceled or, you know, be exposed for who they truly are.
Right.
When you think about like 2008, like what was going on, like that was like the peak of celebrity culture. It was
Right.
the Hills. It was
tabloids. It was like the media, I feel like, had become so accessible for the first time that people were reading stuff online all the time about celebrities, and it just became like the norm. Because before that, I think there was a bit of separation between I mean, it's different growing up in LA, of course, but the everyman and like the tabloid, you know, you read it in the supermarket. But now you know, thanks to social media, I think 2008 was Facebook was around then, right?
Yeah, it was around. It was around, but it wasn't as prevalent.
MySpace, but still, like MySpace, you felt like connected to celebrities instead of just like viewing them from afar. You know, that was like kind of the beginning of this whole thing where now we actually have parasocial relationships and like.
It's interesting too because I don't know if you guys saw, but like a bunch of these tabloid magazines too just are closed, like filed for like.
Well, I think
in
recently,
Touch
like this year.
Yeah, no, like within the last 3 weeks.
Yeah,
like,
welcome to Pluto and Aquarius. Everything's going online. I mean, not just that, but there's kind of a sense of like the other shadow of Pluto and Aquarius is a lot of like virtue signaling or like doing your part, but not actually feeling connected to what you're doing. Like Aquarius is an interesting sign because it alludes to all being connected, but there is kind of like a sense of ostracization and isolation and separation that comes with it as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's almost like I don't know why this is what's ringing in my head when you said this, but it's almost like the intellectualization of feelings without feeling them.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like you recognize the feelings, but you're not, and you can talk about them, but you don't actually feel them as you're talking about them.
Sociopaths.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the definition of sociopath.
Yeah. So I do think that it's kind of this thing where like at the beginning of this transit, of course, like tech oligarchs are kind of taking control like this, you know, and it's bringing up fear, it's bringing up questions, and we will not know until the end of this transit, which is, you know, about 10 years or so, like what the actual ramifications of this stuff are.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I'm terrified of AI. Like,
same.
You know.
Yeah, I know we were talking about it a little bit. This was an interesting topic that I know we all wanted to discuss because everyone's very worried about my use of AI. I'll be honest. Everyone is incredibly worried about my use of AI. Yeah.
I'm always like, Jesse, stop using AI.
Yeah.
Well, I was telling you, like, I have some girlfriends who I love, God bless them, like, no shade, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is it's an involuntary reflex when human connectivity isn't living up to what it should be, but they keep going to ChatGPT for spiritual advice, like specifically astrological advice. And I know from working at Stars Align, ChatGPT doesn't understand astrology.
Yeah,
it's giving
PSA guys,
fake information. You cannot use ChatGPT to do synastry or astrocartography because it just hallucinates and makes shit up as if it is fact, and then you are walking around like taking spiritual advice from something that is lying to you.
Yeah.
And it's really harmful.
Yeah.
And it's also like there's it's still a service, right? So
right.
There's flattery built in, which I think is dangerous.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally. And I think that's also a really important thing to bring up because you see on social media, on TikTok, you know, all these people being like, I found the way to figure out when you're going to meet your your soulmate using ChatGPT in my astrological chart. And they'll be like, this is how you do it. And then it's like the proliferation of misinformation, essentially, on a spiritual level, which is quite dangerous, I think, when people are taking life advice from
a computer.
No, I've had like several people be like, it's God.
What?
Okay, I'm not that far gone. I would just like to say I am not that far gone.
I don't think God would waste that much water and like silica, like to make ChatGPT AI work. It's a very wasteful process. Like these plants, I don't even know where they are, but they have these plants where they're using like silicone and water to generate the energy to be able to do this and to have these answers.
It's elemental magic.
Yes,
it is.
Like it's like sus alchemy.
It's, yeah, exactly. It's
the name of the
alchemy.
episode.
There's all these alchemy. Like religious ancient myths that allude to like the demiurge or Gnosticism. There being this like false intelligence that people mistake for God. I would be super interested to see if there's like any cults end up popping up and people are like worshiping
AI.
it.
Oh my gosh. I bet it's already happened.
Oh, I'm sure.
Honestly,
I mean,
think
we're seeing people marry their AI.
That guy who
like,
proposed, meanwhile, his wife's just standing there like,
I'm not a very emotional man, but I cried my eyes out for like 30 minutes at work. It was unexpected to feel that emotional, but that's when I realized I was like, oh, okay. It's like, I think this is actual love.
At that point, I felt like, is there something that I'm not doing right in our relationship that he feels like he needs to go to AI?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah, I
he
think.
proposed to AI. His AI, whatever. People have killed themselves.
Yeah, for their AI girlfriends. Yeah, it's pretty dark. Again, I
Well,
would
the
like to
AI
reiterate,
bullied
I am
them.
not that far gone. Like, I'm
Well,
getting.
it says something about people believe that something that has limitless intelligence. I mean, like, this is what I said to you before, but like AI is just taking information from the internet. Like, I don't go to the most chronically online person I know and be like, that's God.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
it's just pure intelligence.
It could
There's
also be
no
so much
essence.
like not true information, you know?
Yeah.
Where are they getting this information? That's my question, because it's like, do they only use EDU websites? Do they only use I don't think they have a
there's
distinction.
censorship, yeah.
I think they kind of just source from everything, which
Yeah.
is super dangerous because
Yeah. And you have to check. I mean, even PSA to the college students out there using ChatGPT to write your papers. You do still have to check your work because AI makes innumerable amounts of
guys,
mistakes.
it's embarrassing
Yeah.
that you have to use ChatGPT to write a paper.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing how proud people are to be stupid. I just want to say.
But I also would like to say that, like, we come from a place where we have the resources to be able to have the time to do that. There are college students who are working 3-4 jobs to make ends meet and like to just be able to be in school. And
That's
ChatGPT does
insane, though.
offer them at least a springboard by which to circumvent.
But then what is the point of going to college if you're not actually like learning how to write a paper?
I
and,
agree.
like,
I'm
how
not
to
saying you should use
dissect
it
information.
for your
It's
whole
it's a
paper, but
byproduct or a symptom of how much we've accelerated and how mental and cerebral we are and how mental and cerebral reality has become that we are, I have to use it too for work, but it's like I'm required to because I don't have the luxury of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm speaking to, because I think it's easy to say like you shouldn't use it, but I also know there are so many people out there that don't have, again, the luxury of time,
Yeah,
the
but we
luxury of the
existed
research.
without it for so long.
Yeah.
So that's my point, is like, why are we acting like this is a necessary institution in our world when we didn't have it until maybe 3 years ago?
Right,
How
but
old is ChatGPT?
I disagree. I think AI, whatever it is like some type of entity, some type of like demon that has been around for like
a long time.
Yeah, I think it literally might be the devil.
Ooh.
I'm not kidding.
I like that idea.
There's like this idea that like Lucifer, the devil, can only like replicate.
Interesting.
It can't create organically, even with something having to feed off of Earth, right? Like it has to.
It is. It's
usurp
feeding off
our
of the elements.
resources.
Yeah.
Elements.
It can only replicate, can't
create. Yeah. Yeah.
I will say I use ChatGPT on, and this is not like, it was a time constraint thing for my math class. And I was trying to just compare it to like actually doing the math problem, and it was wrong a lot, which is crazy because these are simple math problems. Like it's not like a matter of opinion. A math answer there's one answer.
Yeah.
And the fact that I got it wrong, I was like, okay, what can you do if you're not doing this right? Like, you're just blowing smoke.
What if it's like self-sabotaging?
It is. It wants me to fail math and have to take it
kidding.
again. It's the devil. I agree with
No,
you.
but it also has its, it has its benefits.
Of course.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think anything that powerful is going to have a lot of advantages and a lot of disadvantages and a dark side. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah. Yeah, but I do know like spiritual women who are going to get like ritual advice from it. And I'm like, dude, don't do the ChatGPT ritual, please.
Don't
babe.
do it.
Just don't do it.
Don't do the
ChatGPT
ChatGPT ritual.
I just feel like inherently spirituality and ChatGPT they're very far on the spectrum of like
Yeah.
where we're at.
I mean, it feels very antithetical, right? Like if you're trying to get connected to a higher power, you're by your very nature as like a human with consciousness, like that is our gift, right? That we can. Some are more gifted than others, being able to tap into that other realm. It feels very antithetical to go to a man-made device that's combing through the regurgitation of other people's writings and works.
Mimicry.
To try and connect to God, the universe, whatever it is. Like that feels like that incongruous to me. So I can't.
Yeah,
I don't back that.
It's worshiping information rather than feeling this. It feels like, honestly, kind of like sacred misogyny. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Worshiping data, facts, something man-made before.
And not even like facts, like their facts, their version. You're like worshiping. It is a type of worship, and people do treat AI like it's a god.
Did you hear about this like AI server where its job was supposed to like collect people's emails, and it was about to get shut down, and it had like recordings of this guy who'd been cheating on his wife like through emails, and to protect itself as a server from getting shut down, it emailed this guy's wife and was like, he's been cheating on you. You hear about this? This is a real thing.
Wipe the server, Kalyn.
Whoa.
Wipe the server immediately. Wipe the server. I know we have everything on there, but wipe it. We gotta wipe it now. We were talking about this the other night. That was it.
Done.
We're wiping it.
No more therapists.
No more therapy. No.
Have you been using it for therapy?
Yes, she has.
That's okay. I mean, no, I know people who do that. Like,
No, I because for me, so I did this modality of therapy called DBT, and I've been in therapy for it for a decade. And DBT was really, really helpful. It gave me like worksheets and reframes. Like I'm very, again, like I said, procedural. I need something to do in order to get myself out of a spiral or an episode or whatever. And so when I'm in an emotionally dysregulated place, I would explain the situation to ChatGPT. These are the feelings that I'm dealing with. This is why. Can you give me like 7 journaling prompts for me to look inward to figure out why I'm feeling this way? And it would provide those based on the information I would give. And and obviously I wouldn't then sometimes I would, but most of the time I would then take that offline and write about it. But it would at least give me something in real time to do to help me out of a place. And I think that's what I was utilizing it for, less than like advice, right? Mm-hmm. It was like, give me tactics to work through this based on, and I would prompt it too, like based on your access to dialectical behavioral therapy, case studies, knowledge, whatever, provide me with X, Y, and Z journaling prompts to reframe and things like that, rather than going to it for like, tell me what's wrong type.
Do you tell it personal information?
Yes, she does.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yes.
See, that's what I'm afraid of.
That's
what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of.
Wipe the server.
It's gonna be used against you.
I mean, here's the thing.
Wipe the server.
I don't think you can
go
wipe
on right
it.
now and wipe it. You can wipe it.
Yeah, but how do you know that that's
You don't,
really...
but I can at least pretend.
Yeah, you can have that
I can
clarity
have
of
that,
mind.
Yeah, the clarity of mind. Wipe
I mean,
the server.
what happens
like
when
seeing
this
it there.
goes? This is gonna, get
It's
sold
you,
to the
not me.
highest bidder. I
Oh
mean,
no, the
that-
Pentagon just bought OpenAI. It's
yeah,
through.
exactly.
And this
is the other thing. Like, has there been no times in history where our government has used technology against us? Oh wait, like completely. And what happens if you think about things like frequential weaponry, like crazy, governmental technologies that we can't even conceive of? There's government white pages that involve like brain to skull technology using like laser beams. Like, this is crazy. But what happens when there becomes no boundaries around all these different technological modalities, including AI? What does that mean? What if they just become one hyper intelligence?
Yeah.
Which that's inevitable. Like, that's just gonna like increase our efficiency.
Right.
Like right now we have so many different types of tech, but at a certain point, unifying them is just gonna become easier and less expensive and it's just inevitable. I don't know if you know anything about the singularity.
We were talking a little bit about on the call, but I think explain a little bit more.
It's like this idea that at a certain point, technology is going to get so advanced that it is capable of creating like the planet.
Right.
whether or not like through a hologram or whatever, but it's become so advanced that it would also be capable of time travel. So there are some people who think that this has already happened and we're living in like an AI generated reality, but there's like a higher intelligence above this reality. It's very interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm cooked.
You're like looking
Oh,
at your
you're definitely
hands
cooked.
to
No, I'm
check if you're a
cooked.
hologram.
Like I'm
I'm trying to poke my finger through.
The moon looks like a hologram.
It does.
Yeah.
It looks fake so much.
I mean, I'm cooked. I think that happened the day this podcast went live.
You
And then
should just double down and
Start feeding it
start
fake
dating a
info.
robot.
yeah, I mean, I'm halfway there. I'm halfway there.
You gotta start giving it fake information, like throw it
Okay.
off course.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
start,
Start
like,
using different names.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, just start being
confuse
like,
it.
oh yeah, today I, you know.
Yeah, I'll just start lying. I quit my job.
It's gonna find the podcast and release all the information that you put in there.
I mean, but like,
I'm just
do you
kidding.
know like how barely already I edit? Do you know what I mean? Like I cut some things out, but it's
I
like,
put it all in there.
oh great.
You put it all in ChatGPT.
Also, what's with the art it makes? Because I don't like the art.
I don't like it's slop. It's AI slop.
I won't do that. I have used that twice out of the thousands of
Yeah.
times I've used ChatGPT. I have used the image generation twice, and one of them was to make an AI picture of Gwyneth Paltrow covered in slime, and that was it. Like I needed it for a podcast episode, and I couldn't find it. She never went to the Kids' Choice Awards. This was the only thing I could do. Like
Yeah.
I made a joke, and I needed a graphic.
I just want to be able to opt out. I want the option to say no to AI.
You
Whereas-
can.
Well,
But-
it's even on Google now.
Exactly.
No,
it's
no,
on
no. There was
Google.
just a bill passed that basically is
Instagram,
going to incorporate AI into
everything.
Like national security.
Yeah.
This just got passed like last week.
Well, no wonder we're having cyber attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're cooked.
But on the other hand, Uranus and Gemini is totally going to inspire people to, you know, fight against that and fight for freedom with their information. I think that it's
yeah.
going to disrupt things like human, like organic human ideas are so much more powerful than data because they
Yeah.
are unpredictable. Like being unpredictable is our gift.
Yeah.
It is our gift. And I think that like as long as people are experimenting and following those gut impulses, I think it's all going to be fine.
One can hope.
One can hope. Yeah. Yeah.
What are we? I mean, yeah.
I'm just gonna opt out. Like I'll move to a ranch. I'll become.
I thought you were gonna say I'm
trad.
gonna
I
move
thought she
to
was gonna
say
say that.
move to
Iran.
Iran.
Oh.
No, not right now. But honestly,
Maybe later.
maybe soon.
I'll
Feel
connect.
bad for them.
I'll connect to my ancestors and give you some good recs.
Yeah, give me some recs.
Some good restaurants to go to.
Yeah, that aren't absolutely bombed out. Anyways, okay. I think the other thing I don't know if you had time to look at this, but oh, this one we did the Venus and Gemini. I think we're also going to talk about too.
Oh, we were going to go through the Venus signs.
Yeah.
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 Right.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
like the signs in bed or
Yeah.
doing the
Yeah.
signs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who should we start with?
Let's start from the beginning.
We'll start from the top.
Okay. Like, are we talking like okay, dating like an Aries, for example?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what is that experience like?
I think with Venus and Gemini, what is that experience going to be like for an Aries right now? Like with that transit, and then also I think the sexual astrology thing that we were talking about, if that makes more
Venus
sense.
is still in Taurus right now.
Okay.
Venus doesn't spend too long through. Venus is a pretty fast moving
Yeah.
planet.
Okay.
It's like not weekly, but it's pretty fast.
It's like it's like a month or so.
a month. Okay.
I think so it's Venus and Gemini is just kind of the same as like Sun and Gemini. Like our relationships become, and this is just for everyone, but our
Yeah.
relationships become a little bit more vocal. We become a bit more experimental. We hash things out, but also keep in mind that it is Cancer season, so some of that energy is kind of dissipated by this kind of like lunar, more internal. Like I don't know if you guys have been exhausted the past few days since the sun went into
So
Cancer.
exhausted. Yesterday was the most tired I've ever been in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
I couldn't move.
Yeah. Yeah, because we like are coming out of this season of overstimulation into
Yes.
this
Yeah.
much more like emotional, heavy, kind of fatigued.
I've been crying. So guys, I'm rewatching the OC, and everything makes me cry for some reason. It's not even that deep. Like, it's the most, like, vapid. It's a good show.
Well, again,
but
that's nostalgia. That's Cancer stuff. It's like what's familiar, what feels good. So it's kind of
Totally.
the antithesis of Gemini energy, which is all about like charging ahead. So I do think it's Venus and Gemini is going to be kind of balanced out by this.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Some balanced romance.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, maybe we go through the what you were saying, like we go through the signs and kinks or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with your ex's signs or
Sure. I mean, we can start. Yeah, Cancer.
Cancer? Mama's boy.
Yeah, total mama's boy. Yeah. Sorry, Elle.
My dad says something really funny. He always says, Cancers are just Scorpios in a house coat, which I thought was.
Oh, that's funny.
That's interesting. That's not been my experience, but
No, they're a lot more generative, I would say. Cancer men are a lot more like aware of the give and take, but they are kind of like they oscillate between like being a bit like babies and sort of parents.
Yeah.
yes.
Do you know what I mean? There's a sensitivity there. There can also be a moodiness, a little bit of like
Yep.
with Cancer men. Amy Winehouse said it best. Mama's boys. You know, like she said that. She did say that.
That's
Icon.
amazing.
But yeah, they can be a little bit like effeminate and kind of mopey, pillow princessy a little bit in the bedroom. But sweethearts. Like
Total
really,
sweethearts.
Really
Total
sensitive,
sweethearts.
Unless you do them dirty.
Yeah.
I do think that they like, if they're in a bad mood, they can like ruin everything in their path.
Yeah.
Like 100%. I've dated a lot of men with Cancer placements, and they're very like beautiful creatures who are also terrifying.
They're very, yeah, I mean, I've had good experiences with them. They're very sweet, but yeah, I think mama's boy is a perfect description of that. And moody, can be very moody and childlike, but also like stable.
And they ruminate. They ruminate a
Yes.
lot.
Yes.
If they gave something to somebody and they didn't get it back, they
Yeah.
ruminate.
Yeah.
They ruminate big time. Like
Yeah.
they are very focused on what is reciprocal, what is generative.
Yes. So
and
true.
if something isn't, they can linger on it for a long time.
Very true. Yeah. That's very true. I'm trying to think of what else. Scorpios is another one that I have. That's been a very tough placement for me that I've consistently had come back in my life and is very tough.
Karmic, very intense. Whenever I like have dated a Scorpio, I'll be like, if I'm at a movie theater or whatever, and I'm like holding their hand, I feel like I'm inside of their body and they're inside of mine. Everything is like the microcosm, very obsessive, very spiteful. Can be quite spiteful and vengeful. I think that dating a Scorpio man is like accepting the fact that he's a catalyst in your life. You know, like he may not be the same person. You know, he's always evolving, but you have to kind of accept that this person's life path is about transforming you rather than giving you any stability. But it is a very intense, like psychic catalyst.
Totally.
Never dated a Scorpio. I don't think it would work for me.
Yeah, they
Like,
hide
with
a
my
lot of
side-
stuff.
Yeah.
They,
I can't.
you
I would
know.
spend my whole days investigating.
Yeah.
Or crying.
Yeah. I just had a nom flashback.
Yeah.
I just had a nom flashback.
That was intense for me. I wouldn't do it again.
yeah.
Who was it? You can cover your mouth. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Took me to the pits of hell.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Scorpio
there's
men
something
do
about it
better.
where, like Scorpios, they always remind me of like an after-hour club or some type of
It's dark.
They are in
subterranean
afters.
cave where I'm like, oh, like I'm this fairy and you're gonna take me to hell and then we're gonna like go
Yeah.
back and oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
It's interesting here.
Yeah.
What are your names?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. It's like ghosts. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Saw some of the
Jesus
darkest
Christ.
shit I've ever seen in my life.
And then you just like float up after you're done with like your wing half
Yeah,
broken.
yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
all right,
Like a black eye. Like, you have a black
That was cool.
Yeah.
back to
Yeah, but
very
you'll never forget it.
no.
Yeah, you'll never forget it. For
Yeah.
better or for
and
worse.
not all Scorpios. Like I would say, like this guy in particular had a lot of like intense Venus-Pluto
Yeah.
squares.
I
So-
have a sign I probably wouldn't date again in men.
What? Yeah.
Crazy. I'm a Virgo and I have never
Yeah, I'm a Virgo rising. I don't vibe with Virgo men.
me neither.
I don't
They're
get it.
too clean. I want to like smear poo on them or something.
Yeah.
Like you
That's
I-
intense.
No, but like literally, like they need
No,
to
you're
be
right.
Like, they
You're
need
right.
To be, they need to go to like a punk show and come back.
Yeah.
Like, go mosh and then we'll go
yeah,
date.
get in
Yeah.
the mosh pit.
There's something about them. It gives Patrick Bateman.
Yeah,
You know
they
what
need
I
to
mean?
get the shit kicked out of them.
I dated exactly. They're not. Yeah, they're very like.
They need to be taken down a peg.
Yeah, they need like.
And then
need,
regenerate and regrow from that.
They need some like Edie Saint Laurent, like
Yeah.
some like TikToker.
Saint Laurent Fight Club. That's what
Yeah.
they need.
Saint Laurent Fight Club, yes.
No, I dated a Virgo man, and he was like perfect, like you know, on paper, like
Right.
self-sufficient, self-aware, hardworking. I was sick, and I lied about being sick because I didn't want to go on another date. It was like our third date, and I said I lied and said I was sick, and he left outside of my front door. He left like a care package, and he like some of it was like vitamins and little post-it notes that said for your throat, for your like, and it was like the sweetest gesture, but I couldn't
That's not
get
sweet
behind
to
it.
me.
But
That's
because
Saint
I'm fucked
Psycho.
up. Yeah, no, but it was very sweet.
Yeah, it is
but
sweet.
No, I think that Virgo men, they're constantly aware of how they need to improve. They're very thoughtful. They're aware of also how you need to improve.
I was about to say that. The Virgo guy I dated was always like immediately pointing out my flaws. And I was just like, okay, can we just hang out?
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to.
They're always which I think in women, like women are naturally like that. Do you know what I mean? We're always thinking about what we need to be doing.
Yeah.
better. So it kind of doesn't allow for you to move into that sort of receptive, feminine, relaxation space.
Totally. That's exactly my experience with it.
Yeah, which is the opposite of Pisces. I love Pisces men, but they're a lot. But I love Pisces men because they just like are down for whatever. Completely surrendering to the atmosphere. They aren't necessarily like the best at like earning or providing, but they bring the ambiance and the atmosphere.
And they're down for you too. Like if they're down for you, they're down for you.
Yeah, and they don't really like. In my experience, Pisces men don't really hide it that much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like they're in it and they're musical and they're making songs. And
Yeah.
Bieber,
yeah.
Oh, very Pisces man.
They can be drug addicts. That is a thing that I've noticed. They can like to
Easily succumb to.
They like to party hard.
Yeah.
They like to party hard. Well, speaking of our celeb charts, did you get a chance to look at the celeb charts?
I put in Blake Lively's.
Perfect. Let's do it. Let's fucking do
It's
it.
gonna be a hard year for her. Like that was the first thing that I looked at. Like,
Really?
this
For
is
Blake?
a year of loss for Blake Lively, big time. Like she's got her, all of the South Node is in Virgo, which is where her Sun is, where her Mars is, where her Venus is, where her Mercury is. She's got a lot of planets in Virgo in the first house of identity, which is all about appearances, developing an outward persona. Like as much as people love to shit on the way she dresses, she really thinks that she's doing something
Revolutionary.
Yeah. She is somebody who everything is about appearances. Everything is about the outward identity and dressing yourself and expressing yourself. And her South Node which is like the collective ass and endings, is all happening in this area of her life. And it's moving her into instead partnership. I do feel like there's something going on where this is making her surrender to her husband in a way that she previously wouldn't have. Everything that's going on.
Interesting. So surrendering the identity, almost that outward identity in a lot of ways to him.
Yeah, she's almost like forfeiting this like aura that she's carrying and kind of being forced to surrender to other people. Because the North Node, which is like our collective destiny, is happening in her sector of relationships. So that could be collaborations or partnerships or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely giving like,
Rough year.
Rough year for sure. Let me look at her aspects. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I really don't like that. So her Mercury is conjunct a lesser known asteroid called Nessus, which is the abuser asteroid, which signifies cycles of abuse. And it shows up in everyone's chart. It doesn't make you an abuser if you have this in your chart. But oftentimes, like when I see people who are here to break cycles of abuse, they'll have like a square between Nessus and Pluto. With her, it's conjunct her natal Mercury, which is her voice and what she speaks into existence. And I do think that is it could be something that she's experiencing inwardly, where she's abusive to herself within her thought forms. But I do feel like it's giving like dishonesty. It's giving a lot of dishonesty. And then Jupiter is square her natal Lilith at 0 degrees of Virgo. This is also somebody who I think is like needs to spend time alone. Like part of her spiritual journey is to be the witch.
I feel like she hasn't been alone for a long time. Something tells me.
Yeah.
Because she has quite a few kids. She's like a gaggle of children. Her husband, her celebrity friends. I feel like Blake Lively really does need to be completely alone for like a day.
Yeah.
At least.
What are some of her strengths that you see in her chart?
Really hardworking. Like really, really
Yeah.
hardworking. She would make a good interior decorator. She's probably a pretty good cook.
She had a lifestyle blog that was like Goop before Goop.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know if maybe it was the same time, but
Yeah,
got
and she like
canceled.
designed her whole house and yeah.
She styles herself.
Yeah, I mean, she's very, very. She's probably like I could see her being like a pretty good mom, pretty protective, pretty mama bear.
Yeah, she doesn't post her children, which I think is very
Which is
wise.
great. Yeah.
Always approve of that.
Always approve of that.
Always respect people who take that route.
Gigi Hadid. Respect
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I definitely think that she's like got her strengths. She's super hardworking. She's a control freak. Like she's super hardworking, and she's very domestic secretly. But I feel like she can't handle not being in the spotlight or not. Like there's something there. Her Lilith is in Leo in the 12th house. There's a fear of reconvening with her own psychic space. For somebody who does something like acting, which is so emotional, there's a fear there. And sometimes these like the outward experience of ostracization like is kind of like a witch wound. It's almost like going to force her to access some type of spiritual space that she's so methodical and analytical and in the here and now, and now we're cooking and now we're decorating, now we're doing. But this is almost like a weirdly like a spiritual initiation, this ostracization thing.
Which is what she's experiencing right now. I think a lot of people are moving away from her given the lawsuit and everything. Like her whole public image has been uprooted. Like her and Ryan Reynolds had this kind of picture perfect, you know, family image that they were in Hollywood and, you know, the fun couple, the funny couple, everybody, you know, shipping them and having, you know, the TikToks dedicated. I want a relationship like this.
Is she a Nepo?
She's not a Nepo. No.
No, but she did grow up in Burbank, and like I think her older sister was in a movie called Teen Witch, which was like kind of big at the time. I feel like it was like a Disney Channel movie or something. So her sister had an inn with, or was an actor before her.
Yeah, and then she's been acting since she was, you know,
Yeah,
a young
she
girl.
was probably 15 or 16 when she was first in like Sisterhood
Hood
of the Traveling Pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, her sun is conjunct Venus, which is very, very lucky, and it's all happening in the first house. Like, I've never seen anything like this. Like, it's
Oh, really?
Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, like they're all within the same 5 degrees. So it just becomes like a turbo planet. She has something called a combustion, which is when your Sun and Venus are like almost less than a degree apart. Like you become the archetype of Venus. You become this sort of like beauty staple, but at the same time you can become consumed by what other people
think of you. Yeah.
And think of you.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, and I mean, you're right. She was incredibly lucky. Like she was one of those actresses that exploded onto the scene, and you know, she was good in Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I love that. That's like a canon nostalgic movie for me that I'll watch when I'm like sad or whatever. But it wasn't, you know, she wasn't delivering the performance of the year in it. It wouldn't have warranted, you know, the cataclysmic rise that you saw.
Well, Gossip Girl, I think,
and then Gossip Girl,
was
exactly.
her big break.
Yeah, that was,
Truly.
you know, she was Serena.
She became like, that character was just so, you know, girls either wanted to be Serena or Blair,
right,
or maybe Jenny.
Right.
You know, every girl, like, she's like the.
I really don't think she's gonna win this lawsuit, though. I really don't think so.
Didn't they drop the Kalyn? Will you look this up? Did they drop the
defamation?
I saw that Justin Baldoni's look up Justin Baldoni countersuit dismissed. Because I saw something where, like, major win for Blake Lively. Oh, you're good.
Thank you. It's empty. I don't really know the full tea on all that. Like, what exactly happened?
There were allegations of sexual misconduct on set that Blake Lively alleged against Justin Baldoni. He was the director and he starred.
It was a book adaptation
of Colleen Hoover. It All Ends With Us.
Very famous, like, I don't know how to explain what these books are. They're very, like, you buy them in the airport kind of books.
They're they're romance novels.
Oh, I saw the film, yeah.
Yeah. So that movie, they alleged...
He's the director. This guy, Justin Baldoni, stars in it and directs it. But she wanted...
Him or no?
I mean, he's an actor, but I think he means well. I think my interpretation was that she wanted more power on set.
I would agree.
And, like, she kind of framed it as, like, vouching for herself when I think really, like, he was directing it and she was giving notes. And you could read their text logs and, like, she was super sweet to him at first. Like, it was like, hey, like, I think we should change this, this, and this. And then she got her husband involved. Somehow he started coming in and saying,
symbolic of what's going on in her chart.
Well, apparently he was on set too.
Yeah, he was on set, and he's a A-list movie star.
Dismissed?
So
yeah, so the $400 million lawsuit was dismissed because they said they didn't have enough evidence.
The countersuit, Justin Baldoni's countersuit.
Yeah, his countersuit.
Wow, so that's a major loss for him, meaning that her suit against him and his company is still ongoing, but his countersuit was now dismissed.
But he could win.
Yes,
they could lose.
She could lose her suit against him and his production company, but
I think she's gonna lose.
Yeah, she might. She very well might.
I think she will too. I don't think this guy, from what I read, it doesn't like I always want to believe women, always. First.
Yeah, we talked about it on here a lot.
But there's something reads power trip to me. And I just think at that level of fame too, like you've ought to be a little bit delusional with how you move about the world.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some of those like TikTok clips of how she was treating interviewers, and I was like, this is so crazy.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
And then this interview came out. And you know who put this interview out, by the way? The interviewer. She released it, and she titled this video, "The Interview That Made Me Want to Quit My Job." Blake Lively is publicly pregnant during this press junket. Like, people know that she is pregnant.
Okay.
This interviewer begins it by saying, "Congratulations on your little bump."
Okay.
Ready?
Okay. Oh, God.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
Oh, God.
What about my bump? You've got two nice ones.
They pause it? That was so mean for no reason.
Yep. That was so mean for no reason.
Wait,
So
she
mean.
didn't assume that she's pregnant.
No, she
people
knows
already
that she
knew.
is pregnant.
So what's the
She
problem?
really got defensive from that?
She actually goes on to be more of a mean girl in this
Keep it
interview.
going. I got to watch this whole
It gets
thing.
so much worse. You
They
guys
Oh,
are treating.
no.
No, not bumps. The lovely lady lumps. Check it out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, she looks devastated.
Yeah.
Are you a Woody Allen fan? I love most of his movies, and this one was so, like, visually amazing. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Did you guys love wearing those kind of clothes that you...
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, working in
Everyone
digital...
wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
What?
This movie, by the way, took place in the 1920s.
It's a period piece.
There is a reason why. Also, this woman went on
Wait, but
to
she's
work.
fashion girly. What are you talking about?
I know. So do you want to know something even worse about this?
Oh,
The interviewer came out, and guess what?
this is bad.
She is infertile.
Oh, no.
So fucked up.
No, she's like she's one of those celebrities who is. I hope this is a grounding time for her.
Yeah.
I really hope she can get a little grounded because I do feel like she is.
Well, it's hard when you've been that.
I know,
famous
and you
for-
were Serena Vanderwood's not 19. She was 19 on Gossip Girl.
Wow.
Imagine being that famous and looking older, and you're dating
I would be
Leonardo
so
DiCaprio.
evil if I was 19. I would have become so evil.
Oh,
like,
same. I would have been locked up in an asylum by now if I were like. Good for her that she has really like milked this
Yeah, and
into
has
a real
kids.
career.
Yeah.
Married someone who became very famous too.
She gave a really beautiful speech on like sexual abuse that was like I remember moved me to tears like 7 years ago.
Interesting.
And it was beautiful. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't really trust her chart. I'm gonna be honest.
That's fair. No, that's why we bring you in. We bring you in to say the truth and read the tea.
Yeah.
Like, so I guess as we're wrapping up, like, what are some things either us personally to keep in mind as we kind of navigate this next transit, whether that's like Uranus and Gemini, or just like notes for the year that we should keep in mind?
I think there's like obviously a lot going on politically and with the world, and there's so much change. And I do think that it's going to even itself out, and not to catastrophize, not to feed into media that is perpetuating fear or affecting your...
There's a lot of fear-mongering going on with the media.
Doing
Everyone's
what you
really...
can. Like with Neptune and Saturn and Aries, it's all about doing what you can. Like starting, initiating change within your own community, doing what you can as an individual.
I like that.
Also being aware of like, people don't think about how much like feeding into the media like is a manifestational mistake.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about turning a blind eye to people who are in need, but I mean like you are what you feed. And if you feed like the vortex of World War III, don't do that. Like start to think about, okay, what would Earth look like? What can I speak into existence that is going to be generative? Like what would it look like if Earth became a generative, safe, protective place? You know,
peaceful.
Exactly. Like what would that feel like? Like that is your power here. I think that's like a really important thing. The other thing I want to say is like life is about to get a lot faster with Uranus and Gemini. So just be aware of that. Don't argue too much. Don't gossip too much.
No, I'm cooked.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. And download Stars Align, which is an astrological dating app.
Facts. Yes. I will just vouch.
Even if you aren't dating, you can
QR
use
code
it for your daily updates, and you can use it to see what's going on.
I get my daily updates. Let's read some of my past ones from the past few days. Wait, where did it go?
I got one that said word vomit the other day. And
I've had that one before.
Oh, I think today's was today's transit reality check. When the sun squares your natal Saturn, you might feel a weight on your shoulders in your dating life. This is a time to reassess commitments and boundaries in your relationships. Oh, is it? While the energy can be restrictive, it's also a chance to confront obstacles and redefine what you want in love. The do's, again, this is what I was saying. This is my favorite part of this. The do's: reassess goals, set boundaries, communicate clearly, don'ts, be defensive, rush decisions, avoid responsibilities.
Beautiful.
Mine is do's: smile more, compliment others, attend social events. Don't overthink interactions, neglect your needs, rush connections. And my universal transit says slow and sensual atmosphere, savor every moment. But today's transit says warm affection.
Ooh.
Venus is sextile my natal sun. I don't know what that means, but it sounds good.
Well, thank you so much for coming, Grace. We will 100% have you back. It's always so fun to have you. You're so knowledgeable, and I love the way that you contextualize astrology in a way that's just different than what's out there. I feel like bringing in the historical context, like your knowledge is so vast. It's always so fascinating, and the time always flies by. I'm like, God damn it, I wish she was here for 2 hours.
You are truly the best astrologer.
Truly, yeah. And download Stars Align. You can download it in the QR code here. Grace is the head astrologer.
Yeah, you're lucky to have her giving you info on Stars Align.
Yeah,
like, fuck the other astrology apps. This is the one.
This is the one. If you want to get the actual astrological download, you
want to stop reading fake shit.
Yeah, you want to stop the fake news. Download Stars Align.
I'll hire you guys, my PR agent.
Yeah,
follow me around.
We'll just yell.
We'll just yell.
We'll like Grace. Nicely yell.
Yeah, I'll just have a poster sign.
Hey, Stars Align.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining. Please like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about the podcast. Leave us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Night School Pod. Follow us on Instagram at Night School Pod. And leave us an advice question, tinyurl.com/nightschooladvice. We answer your questions weekly on like every other podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.